Hi guys, starting a new series today, North Node in Libra. I'm wearing a beautiful dress to represent the idea of Libra. What is Libra? Libra is beauty. Libra is elegance. Libra is charm. Libra is exquisite. It's manners, Libra is a beautiful woman wearing a designer gown on the red carpet, or a man wearing some designer suit. That's Libra. It's just like Taurus because it's ruled by Venus, but it's a different kind of beauty. If Taurus is more tactile, it's more about feeling good and stuff, feeling comfortable and, wearing something beautiful. Libra is all about looking beautiful. It's about being pleasing to the eye. It's about pleasing. Libra is great at that. What else is Libra? Libra is about justice. Libra is about balance. Libra is about fairness, cooperation. Libra is about getting along. What else? Libra is the peacemaker. It's the diplomat. It's the charming one, the one that can charm the socks off of anybody. But before we move into Libra North Node, let's talk about your South Node in Aries and what kind of memories you're coming into this lifetime with. So South Node in Aries, you guys are my fighters. You guys are my fighters. You guys are my troublemakers, trouble starters. You guys are my destroyers too, because Aries is a destroyer. Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars has no problem burning something down. Mars destroys in order to rebuild, of course. But that's what it does. So you guys with Aries South Nodes, you guys are very competitive people. One of the most competitive ones, probably the most competitive ones in the zodiac, because you guys are used to lifetimes where it was all about being the best, being better than the other. A lot of that was based on survival of the fittest. That's why you kind of learned to be better than everybody else, faster than everybody else. A perfect example will be the movie Mad Max Fury Road, the one with Charlize Theron. That kind of idea, where you are constantly fighting for a place under the sun, and you're constantly gathering weapons, and you're very good at weapons, and you're very good at knowing your strengths and knowing your weaknesses and using them to protect yourself, to fight for what you think is right, to attack. Aries can be an aggressor. There's lifetimes of aggression. I'm talking about Vikings. I'm talking about Genghis Khan, pillaging. Aries is about conquering. And if it's in the South Node, that means it was done to the detriment of others. It was too much. It destroyed. Aries is great because Aries is a pioneer. Aries is the one that knocks down obstacles. Aries is fearless. Aries is the first one to, go straight to the wall and accomplish what he or she wants to accomplish. But when it's in the South Node, that means they went too far. You guys went too far with the competitiveness, with the aggression, with the fighting, with all of that. Nothing wrong with that. It's the strength that you guys bring into this lifetime, because a lot of people could probably learn from you, to be direct as you are, to be outspoken as you are, to be fearless as you are, to make your point across, and maybe even to have an argument. A healthy argument is great. You guys are good with that. You guys are great at fighting, at proving something. You're always wanting to prove to everybody else and yourself that you are the best, and you deserve a place under the sun, because a lot of your lifetimes were based on the survival of the fittest. You guys are my gladiators. You know how to fight. You're used to getting things through fighting. You're used to getting things through difficulties, either defending something or conquering something, taking something from another, usually by force. A great example would be, I have a lot of friends, girls, who are Aries South Nodes, badass bitches, and I mean it. Because they have that strength within them, that Aries South Node, that masculine energy, and they come in and they're very strong women. They're very argumentative, they're very outspoken, they're looking for something to fight for. A good example is a movie called Molly's Game. The girl that it's based on, Molly, she has South Node in Aries. And if you watch it, you'll see how she was basically fearless about establishing this whole operation that she had, and even when things went south, she still managed to figure it out, to make it work. So nothing really scares Aries South Nodes, because they're used to kicking ass big time. What else? So now we're going to talk deeper about different houses and how the node manifested itself. But basically, for you guys know yourselves as conflict. You guys know yourself as everything has to be accomplished through some kind of conflict. You know, when things are peaceful, you're very uncomfortable with that and sometimes you'll provoke a conflict because that's what feels comfortable to you. You know how to make your point across in a conflict. You know how to handle a conflict. Somebody else could be scared and run away. Not you guys. You guys are my generals. You guys are my my UFC fighters. You fought in so many ways. You fought for freedom, you fought for justice, you fought for whatever. But because it's in the South Node, you guys went too far to where you basically destroyed, and a lot of people died because of you. Nothing wrong with that. So now if we move into North Node in Libra, what are we talking about with Libra? We're talking about balance. Aries South Nodes are either black or white, either they're up or down. You could call them bipolar in a sense, because Aries is fire. It's a destructive fire. So when they're like here, they're very, pushy. They can be too much for some of us. We can be super overwhelmed by them. It can be hard to be around a person like that because they're very driven to push their agenda, to push their point of view, to push their truth on us. That's what they're used to. So, where was I going with that? Yeah, so you guys are comfortable with that, and so you're learning to slow down. You're learning to not be up, high or low. You're learning to be in the middle. You're learning to find that balance, and that's going to manifest in a lot of different things. Let's say some of you everything you do is done to an extreme. It's either nothing or everything. If you eat, you freaking eat until it's gone. If you starve, then you starve yourself. That's how Aries does. It's always black or white. I had a friend of mine who has this position, and he said, if I'm drinking, I want to be the last man standing in the room. If I'm a salesman somewhere, I want to be the number one salesman. So Aries always does things to the extreme, to the max. So with Libra North Node, you're going to learn balance. You're going to learn peace. You're going to learn cooperation. You're going to learn how to talk to people. You're going to learn how to be a diplomat versus a dictator and being pushy and domineering. Aries is very domineering. You're going to have to learn to be, to go with the flow, to let other people speak, to let other people share, and to kind of listen to them as well, and to listen to what they have to say and to work with them. You're going to have to learn, beauty when it comes to your expression, that diplomacy, that charm. You're going to have to learn charm. Aries is not charming. Aries is the ram. Libra is charming. Libra doesn't need to yell. Libra just comes up and says something very, nonchalant and walks away. And that's it, It can be as bad as a blow below the belt, just as painful, So Aries, you guys are going to have to learn diplomacy, tact, charm, balance, moderation, working with others, interacting with others. It's going to be hard for you guys because you're not used to that. You guys are my lone wolves. You're used to doing everything alone because you don't really trust anybody, because it was always about the survival of the fittest. Whoever was the smartest one in the room, the fastest one, the most strategic one is the one who won and the one who stayed alive. So with you, a lot of times, everything is based on life and death. If I don't do this, I'll freaking die. You won't die, but that's the idea that your mind is selling you. Okay? So now let's take a journey through all the houses of your North and South nodes. Okay, let's go. North Node in Libra in the second house. Before we dive into that, let's go to your South Node in Aries in the 8th. So when I was thinking about this one, the first thing that came to mind would be the wars between tribes. Because Aries, we know it's a fighter, it's aggressive, destructive. So if you put it in the South Node in the 8th, that means that with its destructive energy, there was a lot of chaos that was caused, that you guys caused. So the thing that I'm thinking about is like Vikings, tribes that pillaged, tribes that would come in and destroy and take the women and the children and the furs and whatever resources they had and take them and then live off of that. So never really creating their own, but living off other people's resources by taking them aggressively. That's how I see Aries in the 8th. So don't freak out right away. Oh my God, I would never hurt a fly. I understand you'll never hurt a fly in this lifetime, but we're talking about all your beliefs that you carry within you from other lifetimes. And that's why the South Node is such a beautiful picture to kind of show you, buddy, this is inside of you. So the faster you bring it to the surface and accept it, the easier your life will be. So yeah, so when I'm thinking about Aries in the 8th, aggressive pursuit to other people's resources. So it can be as a result of like wars, you know, because 8th house is death, destruction. So a lot of participation in wars, a lot of conflicts, a lot of death. You guys know a thing or two about death. And Aries, I would say anybody who has an 8th house South Node, nothing really scares them. I always say that. And for you guys as well, you guys took part in a lot of conflicts, a lot of, wars, rebellions, where a lot of people died, including you, or you led to the death of a lot of people. And so you were selfish. Once again, if I talk about Aries South Node, I am going to say the word selfish a lot because that's what Aries does in a detriment. So a lot of selfish motives about other people's resources, a lot of rape, a lot of pillaging, burning down villages, a lot of, and if I have to think about like another historical representation to give you an idea, anytime there is some kind of conquering of a nation, some kind of imperialism, where you come in and you take and there's a war, and usually, like what was done to the American Indians, the same kind of idea where you come in, aggressive, selfish motives, and you come in and you have no problem taking other people's resources, their bodies, if they're women, take them into slavery, use them, Aries can use people. Aries can be, because the selfish motives can be very cold, it can be, it doesn't know how to relate to people because it can be hard for you guys because you're so used to taking and you're so used to taking it by force that in this lifetime, I would say you either are attracting people like that do that to you and you don't understand why. Like, let's say maybe there's some ideas of rape. Maybe there's some ideas where somebody is approaching you sexually and you're not welcoming it, but they're pushy like that, pushy sexually. You may be like, why am I attracting that? Well, because to get to know that idea and say, wait a minute, there's something here, and accept it, not judge it, but just accept it. So what else? Selfish, selfish with resources, selfish with your motives, selfish sexually. If we talk about, if we forget about pillaging and conquering and burning down villages, if we talk about just in general sexually, very selfish, very about me, you are like that. And I'm sure your partners probably say, it's always about you, you never think about me, and we always do what you want and how you want it. Those kind of ideas. What else? Aries in the 8th, a lot of trauma, a lot of losses, death. I would say the big one here would be wars, the theme of wars. You guys have those memories, and you may be drawn to that, and it'd be good for you to watch movies that have a lot of that so you can kind of see that and accept it and bring it home. What else? Can we say serial killers in the 8th? A little bit, maybe, because serial killers, they can be selfish, they can have their selfish pursuits, and they can justify what they're doing, and they use people's resources too, maybe their bodies. So like I said, guys, don't freak out. Anytime we talk about 8th house stuff, we're going to talk about the stuff that makes us uncomfortable, taboo stuff. Maybe you have some crazy, freaky sexual ideas, you get off on seeing people being, oh, that's a good one. Like movies like Human Centipede, movies like Hostel, where somebody's being tortured, think of it like that. Aries is not calm. In the South Node, Aries is very scary. It can be, like I said, destructive, and so think like that. 8th house is deep, and if it's sick sometimes. It has a lot of stuff that makes us uncomfortable, stuff that we look away from. So with Aries there, a lot of violence like that, or violence used for self-gratification. But don't freak out, you know, it's not your fault. It's the lifetimes you lived. It's the choices you made. It's okay, all right? Don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up. I'm just saying this so you guys can kind of understand that everything is possible. So you may be attracted to movies like that. You may be attracted to gore movies, ideas where somebody's suffering, and ideas where somebody's getting, you know, robbed or killed or bullied. You may, you know, so you may be attracted to that. And also you could attract people in your life that do that to you. So either you are like that, still doing that cycle of abuse in a sense, or you're attracting people that are doing it to you to kind of show you that it's in you, you know. All right, enough with the 8th house. Let's go to your North Node in the 2nd in Libra. All right, guys. So if we talk about tumultuous lifetimes of just taking selfishly, if I put you guys Libra in the 2nd house, that means you're here to share. The 2nd house is the house of your own income. So you are here to make your own money, but it's not going to be through aggressive pursuits like you're used to. It's not going to be through, you know, conquering and let's say taking over. Let's say in the business sense, if we talk about business, other people's money, taking over, like coming in like an aggressive corporation. Let's say you were president of a corporation and you take over another one and you put them out of business aggressively and you take their resources and using. So the idea is that you have no problem living off other people's stuff and you acquire it in very aggressive, bullying, pushy ways. All right. So North Node in the 2nd in Libra. Corporation, guys, balance, charm, beauty, completely opposite of what you're used to. If you're used to gore and all that stuff, you're here to kind of appreciate and value beautiful things. If you value suffering and fighting and conflict, you're here to value, you know, vulnerability. You know, Libra can be vulnerable as well. Beauty, tact, you know, you're going to have to share. You're going to have to share with other people. You're going to have to share your resources in a sense, because you took, so now you're going to have to give. But in the 2nd house with Libra, your values are going to change. Your worth is going to be based on peace and calm and beauty. I keep saying the word beauty, but what I mean is like beauty in everything. You know, you're going to have to learn to see the beauty in everything. You're going to have to, you know, look at the world not as an aggressor, as an attacker, but as, you know, loving the world and appreciating where everybody is at every moment and how everybody is, and appreciating what everybody has and being happy for them and not having the desire to take it from anybody. You know, you're gonna have to create your own wealth, but it's gonna come through peaceful methods. It's gonna come through maybe creativity, you know, maybe, you know, Libra North Nodes, you guys, because you have so much anger from Aries South Nodes, you can express it through arts. A lot of people that I know that have that node, North Node in Libra, a lot of them are artists, a lot of them paint, and you can bring that, you can channel that anger or pain, whatever you're carrying from your other lives and your beliefs, you can channel it through art. You can make money through art. You can make money through consulting, something where you are the peacemaker, the diplomat. You know, you're the person that people come to for advice, you know, and you're here to share. You can, even though it's the 2nd house, you're gonna have to share because you took a lot before. So that's it. So see the beauty in everything, you know, get that anger out, you know, channel it, but channel it creatively, and learn to love people, learn to not look at them as resources and things to be used, but as like beautiful. Everybody's beautiful. Everybody has something and that we contribute, and you know, we don't steal from one another, but we share with one each other, and then we all win this way. You know, nobody's left crying and empty-handed. Okay, we all win when we work together. That's the idea with you. So yeah, relax, chill, and just learn to see the beauty of life, of things around you.